What's up, chat? My name is Jack. I play in a band called Jazzno out of Upper Michigan. And since there's no videos on YouTube that kind of go over exactly what we've been trying to do with playback and in-ear monitoring, we wanted to make our own rig rundown. And this is our second full shoot of this because the first one that we just did, Declan said that I came off as if we were an industry plant. Let's take you around back, all right, chat? It kind of sucks. None of this stuff is like really plugged in. Chat, we spent all of our money. Go to Harbor Freight. It's got foam. I don't know what you're mad about. What's it called? Don't mess with Velcro. Don't mess with duct tape. 3M Dual-Lock's gonna save your freaking keister, all right? Chat, what we're gonna do is just kind of go through everything that we bring with us for shows to run our playback through Ableton, as well as our in-ear monitoring. And then a little bit later, Declan over there, he's gonna get more in depth on how everything is connected, how it all works together. And Paul, in another video, is gonna go over how we build our Ableton sets for playback and how that's all routed through this gear. Woo! Starting off, everything is in this SKB 6U fly rack. Super sturdy, super nice. For Paul's in-ears, we have the Phoenix Pro PTM 10. He's running mono ears. For me and Declan's in-ears, we got the Audio-Technica 3000 series. We have 2 body packs. We run mono. Down here, Behringer Ultralink splitter. We found out that we can reverse the rack ears on it and double it basically as our front of house splitter. Down here on this rack shelf, iConnectivity Play Audio 12, kind of the discontinued standard for Ableton redundant playback. Also from iConnectivity, Mio XM. This is our MIDI interface. PreSonus Studio Live 16R digital rack stage box / mixer. The amount of stuff that fits in this 1U thing is insane. This is where everything for our ears plugs into for inputs and then it outputs to our in-ears. Down here, newer addition to this rack, Universal Audio Apollo X6. We really wanted a way to run like vocal effects, like Antares, some Neve preamps, Pultec stuff without using our laptop's DSP. This solves that problem, plus the preamps are just pristine. These things are sweet. After our Apollo X6, for our wireless mic and wireless guitar, we're both running Shure SLX-D. And then if you'll follow me back here, no rack is complete without a Furman, but because all of the wall warts for most of the stuff back here are too big, all of this stuff is like half plugged in. And then last but not least, for the basics, look, let me put you on some game here. Go to Harbor Freight. Apache cases. They're just Pelican knockoffs. They're super cheap. This thing was like 50 bucks maybe. You got your pick and pluck foam. You got everything you need. And in here, our SLX-D wireless mic with the SE-V7 capsule. We got our body packs for the Audio-Technica and for the Phoenix. Wireless pack for the guitar. GoPro Hero 3, can't live without it. In case we want to be wired if we have some sort of tech failure or something. We got the Behringer P1? Behringer P2. We have the Behringer P2. And these things, they're like 30 bucks now on Sweetwater. Couple AAAs, you're set. And then for our ears themselves, I'm running Ultimate Ears 250 Universal Fits.
Me and Declan run Waves in-ears. Two driver, like 300 bucks. Really good bang for your buck, custom fit in-ears. The Face ID dot projector, just scan it around your head and send it into them and they'll make molds for you.
But yeah, for the basics, that's what we're running, 6U SKB fly rack, and we're gonna have Declan go in depth about what all of this stuff does, how it connects, and then in another video, Paul is gonna show you how we do Ableton set building, playback, and how that's all routed.
So we're gonna start with the inputs in the back, just because it makes the most sense. So in the bottom, we have our 2 wireless units, and they're running into the Apollo, into mic input 1 and 2. The mic input 1 and 2 share the high Z inputs in the front, so there's no reason to run a converter to the 1/4 inch for the instrument. For the line inputs, sometimes we'll run a bass DI, and we'll also run a second vocal for me. So those go into 3 and 4, as 1 and 2 share the preamps. Then going into the outputs, first thing we have here is our microphone for jack. That gets hard pan left in the UAD software. my microphone, whenever I sing, gets hard pan right, coming out of the UAD software. And then we have my guitar and my bass DIs getting sent to the splitter that's in the front. Next up, it's kind of hard to see, but we have our Play audio all the way in there. We have 3 channels getting sent. One's a click, one is a bass tracks, and one is a normal regular tracks. Everything is coming out of here and out of the Play audio is getting sent to the splitter on the front. The splitter on the front has 2 separate outputs. There's a link out and a direct out. The link out's a weaker signal, and so what we're doing is we're sending it to the 16R to do the mixing in our ears. Basically, whenever we pull up to a gig, what we'll do is we will just have 6 different XLRs on hand to take out of our splitter patch bay. I'm gonna kill you. We put them out of our splitter patch bay, and they will go to a box. Next thing that's sort of happening here is all of the modeling that's going on in the UAD. The software is on my computer right over here. And essentially, we have both vocal chains running, some EQ, some compression, the Real Verb plugin, and then just auto-tune. The X version that's meant for live playback. Then we have our Play audio right here. It's hooked up to both computers, and essentially what it allows us to do is run 2 Ableton sessions at once. If one of these gets unplugged, or if one of the computers shuts off or something, it automatically fails over. Nothing bad happens. This Mio is taking all 5-pin DIN and USB host information and sending it to our Play audio, which will then send it to both of our computers at the same time. So if Paul, our drummer, does something on the SPD, it controls my computer and it controls his at the same time. We have pianos that we also run live, and other MIDI instruments, and those go into the back of the Mio, coming in from the back of the rack. Input monitoring. Once mixes go into the 16R, they get controlled via software on Paul's computer called Universal Control. Here's an example of what one of the in-ear monitor mixes. So this one's mine. It's getting sent out of the 5th input, and just on the back of the rack here, the 5th input gets sent out and gets sent to in-ear monitors. Only other thing is just showing some of how the playback starts. So both of the Ableton sessions are controlled via SPD SX Pro right now. Playback on both of the laptops are stopped. We can see nothing's going on in Ableton. Paul launches tracks just by going like that, and we can see on both computers the tracks are launched. Whenever something gets messed up, we can stop the tracks from here. We can go through and set up different tracks using AbleSet, and everything is nice and organized from the SPD. We don't have to touch the computer, so they can stay synced. Last sort of thing is the Play audio sends MIDI triggers to my computer, and my computer picks up these MIDI triggers. So we can see when we start our very first song, my guitar is going to get transposed down a semitone because the song is in drop C sharp and the guitar is tuned to drop D. So I hit that, transposes to -1, and then throughout the set, everything is just controlled by MIDI triggers.
Okay, so that's the gist of our playback and monitoring rig that we take with us to shows. Obviously, that's not all we take. You know, we're taking guitars, bass, whatever else we need, drums, breakables, whole 9 yards. Also, just in case anybody was wondering, wanted to get into the specs of the laptops that we're running, it's not technically a true, completely redundant setup simply because we're not running identical laptops spec-wise. Our A computer, which is Paul's computer, MacBook Pro, 14-inch Apple M3 Pro chip, 18 gigs of RAM. It's our primary machine. And Declan's laptop, which is our B computer, the failover machine in case anything goes wrong with Paul's, is a MacBook Air, 8 gigs of RAM, Apple M1 chip. I think it's important to note too, we're not professionals by any means. Everything that we've done for this rig, it's been about a year of trial and error. We've had a couple different iterations of playback. Once we got the Studio Live 16R, that made monitoring so much easier, especially working with the Play Audio 12, which took us a while to find because again, it's discontinued. But especially getting the Apollo X6, being able to use the built-in DSP on that was an absolute game changer. The near zero latency is huge on the Antares Auto-Tune, which we use on one song. And the other plugins with Universal Audio are great too. I'll put a screenshot of the vocal chain that I use live. Again, everything that we've done for this rack has just been trial and error in terms of getting it set up. However, there are some really good resources available on YouTube. From Studio to Stage is a great channel if you're looking for more specifics on redundant playback, and another really good channel to check out for in-ear monitoring solutions and setting all that up is Scott Ewell. So that's basically it. In case anybody was wondering how we run our shows, that's how we run our shows. It would be super cool if you subscribed to this channel. It would also be really cool if you followed our Instagram, which is on the screen. And if you want, check out some of our music. That would be really cool too.